I got Tbull. Today we're checking out the Tier 8 Soviet destroyer Delny. I got Rumble on there. You can use the different guys. I usually have historically used Trubes, Trubetskoy or whatever. But this guy adds a little bit of range. Similar to the Kaba. Now, this ship, the Delny Tier 8, you can swap out the smoke with the heal. You guys talked me into doing that on the Kaba. I haven't quite gone that far yet with the Delny. The Delny itself is pretty dang good. But the smoke is an interesting option, especially as the game evolves. If you can get in position where you got multiple ships within your range, you can put out a lot of harassing fire. Alright, so we got domination mode game, two brothers. First thing we do is the destroyer. We note how many destroyers. Okay, we got two. Where are they? One's on the east. Where are we? We're in the middle. Well, we're not in the good spot to spot/attack A. So we're going to go over here. It's kind of the guy's sitting in the spawn, which will have a couple battleships that'll sit here for a good chunk of the game. They don't need spotting. They're not going to be able to shoot anything anyways. So it doesn't really help us to do that. I could go up the gut, die, surrounded by 8 red dudes. That's not as profitable of a play either. So I like this play. It's not quite as necessary as capture the base mode, where you have open sides here, because you technically can, if you go up the gut and you get their base, there's a scoring opportunity there. You're not likely to capture their base in capture the base mode doing that, especially not early in the game. So anyway, I generally prefer to have one destroyer per side. Now we do have a carrier as well. He's also on the east, and I think both carriers will be focused on that side for the majority of the match. Plymouth coming in hot here. Now the Plymouth, dangerous customer, no doubt. British light cruiser guns versus destroyers. Dangerous, arguably the most dangerous, threat from guns that you're going to face. Okay, so you got to be very careful here. I do have torpedoes down, and he's turning into them. Now I'm going to try and entice him. His guns are on the right side of that ship. I think the Plymouth's turrets can probably traverse pretty quickly, but I'm trying to entice him to turn over here, attack me, and see if you can get a little side showing to those torps. That could take him out very quickly. Now the battleships are getting some good shots on the Plymouth, certainly, and they're doing a great job shooting him, recognizing the threat that ship poses to their destroyer, who they're supporting here. Good job. Oof, got away with one there. That was a lot of shells coming in here, and that could have been, 5,000-10,000 damage pretty easily. So, good job dodging there, trying to get away. Now they're threatening the cap. Now, me and domination mode, I love capturing bases, right? And I love advocating capturing bases, and that's really how you're going to win those games more consistently than not. However, we need to recognize, we don't need to be doing anything too crazy. I don't want to be pushing into a Plymouth who's in a smoke, getting spotted by a Kagero. The Kagero is going to outspot me. Plymouth, boom, takes me out. So I'm not going to kill myself just to capture the base. But what I'm hoping to do is maybe blind fire this Plymouth as we see where he's shooting, get him off the board, or at least let them settle in. And we see the Kageros now committing to using the smoke as well. Reason, no reason discernible there. I have no idea what the Kagero's thinking, but nevertheless, they're both kind of committed to sitting in the smoke shooting, despite the lack of spotting that they're going to soon encounter. So we're going to push in here. At this point in time, I'm thinking, all right, we can charge the Plymouth, probably kill him in 2-3 shots if need be, and these guys are moving a little bit into a better position. Even the guys that are in the base can probably shoot that thing, but their battleship, for instance, that just popped back up on the screen there, they don't have shots. You can see on the map there. So I would probably start moving those guys forward. The guy that's fanning out a little bit, I'd say that's a much more profitable position, much more control over these lanes that we were trying to establish. All right, Plymouth back on here. I don't know if we spotted him with the smoke fire penalty or plain sighted him. Who knows what happened. But we're going to go ahead and just attack him, and then the Wami does take him out as well. So good job there by the team. Kagero squaring off against Delny. Well, it's not going to go well, I don't think. It's got a good supporting shot from the Amagi. Was that the Amagi's first shot of the game? I don't know. Perhaps not. Maybe he shot the battleship, but that's the first time he shot at us. Didn't get a lot of damage there. Kagero down. Base under threat. We're going to continue to try and angle the rear of the ship towards the Kagero. We slam on the brakes. A lot of players aim on the indicator. This one didn't. I don't know if he anticipated us backing up, in which case it would be a great launch, or maybe he just aimed behind us. Who knows what happened there. But good job there. We were luckily turning in there, or reversing in rather, And we're continuing to shoot. Now, we do need to get this base. We got D under control, which is good. In fact, our lead is increasing now. But if we can get this base, despite only being up one destroyer at this point in time, that would generate a nice background lead. That would likely sustain us at least later into the game and force Red to start making some more aggressive plays. You can see on the east, they got the numbers. They got 4 battleships. I think they just lost the Chung Mu a moment ago to the Pablo. Good job there by the Pablo taking him out. But nevertheless, when we're analyzing the situation, we still have to say they got the weight, they got the numbers. Probably going to get D sooner or later, right? So getting A, having B under control, worst case scenario, we freeze the background in place, right? If they get the D cap, they'll have 2 caps, we'll have 2 caps. All right, and then we're going to ride this lead that we're going to hopefully build up here over the next couple of minutes at least. To a victory. All right, so pressuring him, not really that fearful. I mean, we still got 18,000 HP. Amagi might be able to hit us, maybe not, but he's not going to take us out in 1 or 2 shots here. So we can just press him back. We're trying to push him forward. Turn in here, hoping to dodge, hoping to clip those shots in the island. He actually does aim there and get us there with a pretty decent shot for 3,000 damage. Again, not a huge cost to pay there. But we are eyeing C on the map that we're seeing. Okay, they got 2 battleships close. They got 1 way out there. It accounts for most of those ships. Here's the Amagi and then the carrier, who's luckily, once again, not paid attention to us this match. So why not press C? Now you can see the blue detection ring. We'd be pretty close to that thing. But he's taking a lot of withering fire from us and our team. We're going to try out some AP here. Keep an eye on the results. 2,000... damage on a lot of these salvos. Not great. I mean, it's like heavily armored target. It's not exactly broadside. So this is more of a let's fire some shots, test it out situation. But, situation in retrospect looks like HE might have been a better shell. Nevertheless, he's on the ropes. He's continuing to back up. That gives us a little more wiggle room. And even if he spots us at this point in time, we got to be under the assumption we can kill him before we can kill us. Now, you don't want to fall in the trap that a lot of destroyer players go into these fights. They don't pay attention to the health. They don't pay attention to the possible damage output. And they say, here, I'm in a 10,000 health destroyer. I can gun down the 60,000 health battleship, no problem. If you run the damage per minute numbers, well, it's going to take about 25 minutes, which is longer than the game. So there's times to use the guns on battleships. There's times not to use them. But when we're able to utilize cover there, intermittently, and this could come back to haunt us, going for style points, trying to sight the carrier, target 1 not down, and boom, already gets us there for another 3,000-4,000. So a little bit punishing there. Unfortunately, we didn't take them out when we did. You always want to finish these ships off before they get another shot if possible. But getting back to my point, be smart about when you shoot. And this situation, he couldn't have sunk us. We could certainly have sunk him, even without the supporting fire when he got low like that. So we go ahead and take the shot. All right, so just be smart. Don't say to yourself, okay, the guy there's got 50,000 more health than me, but I'm probably going to win despite the fact that he does 20 times as much damage as I do over the course of a minute. All right, so side pan. Yeesh, carriers. You got to keep the bulk of your team's forces in between you and the bulk of the red team's forces, the opposing team. All right, you got to be paying attention to the game here, and he was really focused on that D column. Don't even think he really realized we were over here until we started peppering him with some shots there. Team combines to crush him. Down he goes. All right, so we got 2 ships left. From a pure strategic standpoint, going into B would be nice. We're just going to assume we're going to push into the D cap, maybe grab the 4th, or the 3rd cap, rather. I guess we got 2 full base captures at this point. 3rd full base capture, that'd be a nice feather in our cap, nice boost to the score, and we might get some more damage there. But if this game's a little tighter, we would probably want to consider going into B just to defend. Now, take a look at the map here. Like, if, let's say we went up the gut, and let's say that Awami stays alive here, by the time we come out of that mouth, well, we're going to be spotted, right? So we can't even safely exit that little gut that we call it, the little path up the middle of the map. So you got to be very careful making that play. Luckily here we've controlled the background scoring, and as you can see we have a nice hearty lead in terms of ship count and total team HP, so we don't have to be as risky in terms of what we have to do. But if the score was very tight, perhaps we need to get to B as quick as possible. Two Brothers, one of the defining features of this map is you cannot take straight line routes. You have to take kind of, I'm going right 2 squares, up 3 squares type of routes instead of going diagonally 2.5 squares like you would on most maps. So time to traverse the map in this particular map, very important to keep an eye on and evaluate constantly. All right, we got Awami. He's taking some shots now. We do have the battleships. They're a little bit behind the play. I'm not going to criticize them not too much. I think they did a good job supporting me against the Plymouth, which was the play of the game, at least from our term or our flanks position. So, you know, they did what they had to do there. But battleships, you always want to be 2 steps ahead of where you're at, okay, or where the game appears to be at. Right, like right now they could be shooting if they were just a little bit quicker to move forward. Once again, checking out the AP here, and again, you know, some decent shots, but compared to the HE potential, I don't see huge differences in output, and of course we're not getting the potential fire damage either. So doing what we can do here. We do get the 3rd base there, and this will be kind of a working man's 3K game. You know, we're just doing our job, going cap to cap to cap, flipping them, doing some damage, taking some ships off the board whenever we can, but really focusing on the scoring, which is what you should be doing in destroyers in general when it comes to domination mode games. All right, so we're just going to keep pressuring them here. Delny, I think it's a little bit underrated. I think the Tashkent's a little bit underrated. The line up to, you know, Gnievy, I don't play it a lot. I don't have an opinion on it currently, but Tashkent, certainly Delny and Kaba at Legendary tier, this is a good line of destroyers. They do have a unique play style. The role's a little bit different. In general, I still try and do my roles, you know, capture bases, spot, you know, counter destroyers, whatever. But your approach is a little bit different than, say, like an American destroyer or Asian destroyer or something like that. So that's a look at the Delny for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see y'all there. All right, peace.